All right, let's do this. Identify the chord. Where was it? First thing you got to do is rearrange into thirds. We'll start over here. If you can't rearrange into thirds, it could be because it's missing a note or it's a suspended chord or something like that. Then we figure out the root note, analyze the spelling, and look for extensions. We'll go through that now. They're the steps. The big old thing over here, this big thing, you just have to memorize that. You have to know that. If you don't know that, you won't be able to do this. So I know that's a lot of things there, but there's no way around that. Sorry. Let's do some. Oh. Alright, first one, let's do it. So we'll start up here. Thirds. So we're going to rearrange this into thirds. We'll do it in treble clef. So we're going to cross them off as we do them. So we're going to start with B flat as the root note because it's the lowest, so it makes sense. So we'll put B flat here. We'll get a messy ledger line there. Then the next third would be that one. Then the next third is that one. The next third would be this A. And then that one. So we've rearranged into thirds. Find out the root note. I'm going to guess it's the bottom note or the lowest note. So that would be the root note for me. B flat. Now I've got to know the key signature of B flat major. So that would be B flat and E flat. And now I can start analyzing. So I'm going to go, is B flat, is this note here the first note of B flat major? Yes, it is. Is this note the third note of B flat major? Yes, it is. And so on. Is that the fifth of B flat major? Is that the seventh? Is that the ninth? Now in this one I've made it a really easy starter. So yes, they all are. And now I've got a 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. And that means if I was to go back to this slide here, 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, you can see it's this one here. There's no alterations. So it's got to be major, C major 7, except that I want to do the extension. So we had a 9 up here. So I would then go B flat, major, and instead of 7 I put 9 because I put the highest extension here. And that's done, that's that first chord done. Let's try this one. Obviously if you stopped it and did it yourself first, that would be better. Thirds. So I'm going to start there with my D flat, then I'm going to go F, then I'm going to put this A flat in, and then I'm going to put this C in. Rearranged into thirds. I'm going to guess that the root note is the lowest, which is D flat. D flat has 5 flats. Battle ends and down goes. Okay, and then we check off the analysing part. Is D flat the first note of D flat? Yes. Is F the third note of D flat? Yes. Is A flat the fifth note? Or is it lowered? So we'd come down here and go, oh no, D flat major has an A flat, so therefore it's just part of the normal D flat major chord, so it's just a normal 5, and then C. There's no C flat or anything, so C is part of D flat major, therefore this is just a simple 1, 3, 5, 7. So we go the root note, D flat, and then using that chord spelling, we know it's D flat major 7. Again, if you haven't memorized that 1, 3, 5, 7 is a major 7 chord, you're going to find it hard. That one you should know. Got hard quick. Alright, same thing. We're going to start in thirds. Let's do it in treble clef. So we'll take this E, put it up there, then the G sharp, there, then the B would be next. So we'll do that one, then D goes on top of that, and then obviously this crazy thing, F double sharp. Root note, E. Probably should put root key signature or something. Would make sense. 4 sharps, Father, Charlie, goes down. Analyze using a different colour. E is the first, obviously. Third, does the third of E major have a G sharp? Yes, it does. Fifth, there's no B sharp or B flat in this key signature, of course, so yes. is the 7th a D? So if you look here, no, the 7th should be D sharp. But the writer of this chord specifically wants a D natural. So they've lowered the 7th note, or we might say flattened the 7th note. So now, if I get rid of that, now we've got a dominant chord here. So we've got some sort of E dominant 7 chord, and we can see there's something happening funky on the top here. So is F double sharp come from E major? No, we know that the 9th should be an F sharp, but it's not. Someone's gone, I want F sharp sharp. They want it raised, so therefore it's a sharpened 9th. So here we've got the dominant 7 with a sharpened 9th. So that would look like root note, dominant 7, so we would put 7, and then we'd go sharp 9. Just remembering that the sharp doesn't mean it has a sharp on it, it just means that it's been sharpened or raised or upped, gone up a little bit. You perhaps could see this chord as E dom 7 sharp 9. But we tend to not use the word dominant anymore because it's not needed. We all kind of know. If it's missing, it means dominant. That's all we need to know. Next one. Alright, I'm going to guess, I can't quite remember, but I think they're getting harder. So we'll see how we go. Let's do it in treble clef, because we're all better in treble clef. C. And then there's nothing here, right? There's no third in this chord, so we'll just put a question mark there. Then we have got a 4th here, but I'm going to leave that because it's not a third. So the next third would be this G, then this B flat, then this D, and then we've got another third on top of this one here. Okay, so now I remember I said if it doesn't stack properly, it might be a suspended or 11th chord. So that should give us a bit of a clue, but we'll continue the process. So the root is probably the lowest, so C. We know the key signature of C major, so we check it off. So the first, yes, third doesn't exist. 5th is 5th. C major doesn't have a B flat, someone's lowered it on purpose, so therefore it's a flattened 7th. The 9th, of course, is just from the 9th major, and then we've got an 11th from the major scale. And so we just write this as this part is dominant chord again, with the highest extension. So instead of C7, we write C11, like that. Now the reason we don't have a third is that when it comes to the third, you can either choose the 11th, 4th, or the 3rd, because the 3rd and the 4th are either a semitone apart or a minor 9th apart, and it usually sounds very bad. So you can't usually have an 11th and a 3rd, or a 4th and a 3rd. Why is this F not the 4th and therefore making a suspended chord? It just is. There's no real reason why, but that's the way we do it, because it's an 11th because it has the 9th and the 7th. So if it didn't have the 9th, it would be a 4th. I don't know, hopefully that makes sense to you. Next. I've been very clever here, and I've written the chord in fourths. See, the intervals are fourths, but we're going to try and stack it in thirds. Shall we do it in bass clef for a change? Might be some bass guitarists out there. Yes, that one's done. Is there a C? Yes. Is there an E flat? No. Put a question mark. Is the next third? Yes. Next one. Yes. Oh no, we shouldn't have done it in bass clef. We've got nothing there. That's a question mark in case you can't see it. And then we do have something there, which is this one. Oh well. Root note is going to be A flat. Battle ends and down. Okay, that's the flats. Check it off. Here we go. Yes. First. Tick. Third. Yes. Is the 7th usually a G flat? No, it's not. So do that. Is the ninth usually a B flat? Yes, it is. So we leave it the same. We're missing the 11th because, as I said in the last video, we've got a third. So the 3rd and 11th don't usually go together. We don't put them in the same chord. So we ignore that. And then we've got a 13th, which is on an F. Do we have an F flat or F sharp? Nope. So it just stays the same. So we've got, maybe I'll go for another colour. Here, this part is dominant, 7. And then we just add the highest extension instead. So root note, A flat. Should be dominant 7, but we put the highest extension instead, so we've got a 13, A flat 13. So it looked pretty cool, but I don't know. A fun thing about chords is the way that there was fourths. So it's a 13th chord in fourths. And that's that one there. You could almost say that's a fourth as well. Sharpened fourth. All right, let's move on. Oh, another clever one by me. I like this too. Look, I've put like tones and semitones to make triads. Oh, here we go. If we did our usual method of using this as the root note, G, the next one is a B. Now the next note is a D, yes. The next note is an E here, but I don't have, that's not a third, so something's going wrong here. And the C is also not a third. So something's going wrong a bit here. It's a bit more of a complex example. So there could be a note missing. It could be a fourth or a third, or perhaps the root note wasn't right. Maybe we shouldn't have started on G. So, I don't know, maybe because I happen to know this, I can see that this third would actually, this E would go underneath, and this C would also go underneath. I can sort of see how that would fit, and now I do have perfect thirds, which means it's not a fourth or suspended chord or an 11th chord, it's some sort of chord, so with the wrong root note. So we've done these two, so we're saying we're actually, the lowest note is C, so we're in C major because this chord's got the lowest note as C, and we'll worry about this root note later on. So C major has no sharps or flats, so this means this is quite simple. It's a 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. So it's a C major 9. However, I've got this bad boy down here, so we would put a slash to say it's C major 9, but it's over a G. You often see that, but without the major ninth, and it can be a pedal point. So the next chord might be, I don't know, B flat major 9 over G. That would sound pretty funky. Well, maybe not. Oh yeah, that would kind of work. Maybe. All right, that's that one. Different root note for that one. We got any more? Oh, what have I done here? Oh, a classic. Alright, let's stack it from here. So if I put my note there, and you can see how it looks like it's not going to work out well, but we've just got to play the game. So we've got to try and stack thirds. So we've done that one. That one goes next. There's no A, so we'll put a question mark. There is a C. There is an E. There is a... So we're back to that thing where if it doesn't stack quite right, it's probably an 11th or a suspended, or as we saw, maybe the root note was wrong, but we can't rearrange this chord anyway to make it stack right. So therefore, let's just analyze it. We're in D major, F and C sharp. So that's the first, yes. Is this the third of D major? No, it's not, because it should be F sharp. Someone's lowered it to F natural, so therefore it's lowered. There's no fifth. Is C the 7th? No, it should have a C sharp. Someone's lowered it. So is E? Yes, it's the 9th. No one's raised or lowered it. Is this the 11th? Yes, no one's raised or lowered the 11th. So therefore this bottom half, that makes a minor 7, and then the highest extension. So we would go the root note D minor 11. Done. I'm pretty sure that's it. Oh, well, do we want to do this one? No, I don't know. Let's do it. This is a nasty, nasty one. Nah, let's not do it. It's fine. Okay, we'll do it. Here we go. Root note is D flat. Follow along. Then we've got a third. Stack the thirds. F. Then we don't have a fifth really at the moment, so we'll put a question mark in there. We do have a seventh. We do have a 9, do we? We do it, not really. Okay, so then what are we going to do with all these notes that don't really fit? Sorry, we've got this. This is a B natural, which is the same as C flat. So that one we've done as well. Well, what's probably happening is that someone is enharmonically spelling these different. So this D natural could be E double flat, and this G natural could be A double flat. And when I do that, suddenly now I've got a nice triad. But the reason they haven't done that is because what's going on is this is actually just a G triad with a D flat 7 in the bass here. So I'm playing, the chord is really D flat 7 with a G on top. So if you're a piano player or even an arranger, it's really easy to write G triad, D flat 7, and that makes a specific chord that we're about to find out. So you would write that. But in theory land, it's really this big chunker over the side with the double flats. So let's work it out. D flat has got battle ends and down goes. So that's the first, that's the third. We're on to analyze, by the way. The fifth should be A flat, but it's been double flatted. So it's been lowered again. So it's been lowered from A flat to A flat flat, double flat. C flat doesn't exist, it should be out there. So this has been lowered as well. And then E should usually just be E flat down here. It's not, so it's been lowered to E double flat. So we get that. So so this would become D flat 7, and then flattened 5, flattened 9th. And these type of chords are called altered chords. So you might even see this written as D flat altered 7, without a bracket, sorry, altered 7, which hilariously means alter the 5th and 9th any way you like. You can either have a flat 5, sharp 5, or flat 9 or sharp 9. As long as you alter them both, it's fine. And what you end up, it gets all a bit confusing. That's why it's hard, that's why it's at the end. But if you had an A triad over D flat 7, you end up with D flat 7, sharp 5, sharp 9, which is a lot easier than trying to write out double flats and sharps and all that kind of stuff. That was a complicated one at the end there. Okay, hopefully that helps you. Remember the steps at the top there are the key. Third root, analyze extensions, and good luck. See you soon.